Madam District Attorney Sandra, Doorley, Sheriff Todd, Baxter. My name is Chris Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield. And your hypocrisy and contempt for the law is a total disgrace. I'm demanding a list of the salaries for every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Monroe County District Attorney's Office, and you are refusing to provide it. Why? Are you under the delusion that your employees are paid with monopoly money? It's taxpayer dollars. Freedom of Information Law, the names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. My signature to date, that's my contact information. Freedom of Information Law, names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. My contact information, my signature to date. You have it. Send a list of the salaries for your public employees at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office or Monroe County District Attorney's Office to my email, cchichester@jul4@gmail, or my home address. I'm going to start to come to your events. I'm going to hand you this foil. And I'm also going to tell you what I've been telling you here, that you're a disgrace. So, now, Sheriff Baxter, I watched you compete in the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. And I watched you win the gold medal, and you defeated Guido Kretschmer of West Germany and Mikola Avalov of the Soviet Union. So, I mean, you were heroic defeating Guido and Mikola. And your point total was 8,618. And you were just fantastic. Here you are, right here. Sheriff Baxter winning the gold medal in Montreal. And then, Sheriff Baxter, you appeared on a Wheaties box. And I think I even bought that Wheaties box at the Pathmark on Long Island. And then suddenly, Sheriff Baxter, I went to your Wegmans Food Market's headquarters. It's your headquarters. You always have 2 vehicles alongside the building doing nothing. And then I was at the magazine rack. And there you're on the cover of Vanity Fair. And what's going on, Todd? I mean, you're Bruce, and then you're Caitlin. I don't get that, Todd. What's that called again? Gender dysphoria, dystopia, something like that? Todd, I don't get it. I don't get that at all. So perhaps you should seek some counseling. And Madam District Attorney Sandra Doorley, I have a photograph of you right here. You're giving the peace or victory sign. And, I'm concerned, Madam District Attorney, about one of your assistant district attorneys who works under you. This is Assistant District Attorney Hannibal Lecter. And so you, Madam District Attorney, need to speak to Assistant District Attorney Hannibal Lecter because he has problems with his diet. So, and that's why he has these temperament and self-control problems. So he is not going to be effective there at 47 South Fitzhugh. So you need to talk to your employee, Assistant District Attorney Hannibal Lecter. And now, Sheriff Baxter, why are you afraid to open your mail? The Freedom of Information Law document that compels you to send your public employee payroll to my home address or emails in here. Send it to me. I'm going to come to your events with this. This is one of the things I'm going to have in my hand. I'm going to show it to you. I hope the people around me laugh when I tell them that you're afraid to open your mail. Just like Michael Rabb is afraid to open his mail. Return to sender. Elliot Roth tells me you're going to be arrested for walking through a parking lot. I demand to know from you, Elliot. Who told you I was going to be arrested? He said, that's Sergeant in Panorama Trail, that disgusting hack. Hey, Raj Shah, go outside for 30 seconds to say they don't own that land next to my house. On the minute he prove he owns that land, he's refusing to open his mail. I walk outside. Yeah, they come down here because you're going to concoct a crime for me. I stood right here for 30 seconds. They don't own that land. I walk back in my house. How is it a crime to walk outside my residence, stand here, say they don't own that land, walk back in my house? Tell me, Sheriff Todd Baxter, how that gets 6 of your fanatics on my front lawn and me charged with criminal contempt. How is that a crime? Tell me. I'm in handcuffs on my front lawn because of this. 2 of my neighbors watched do this to me. And I'm on that video that you refuse to provide for me, to me. How is that a crime? I go to the now defunct PW Fitness in Penfield. I'm at the back of the gym on the bench press, about to do the 3rd set of 10. Up walks to me, gym psychopath, Jermaine Benman. I say to him, I'll be 30 seconds. Benman stands over me. He punches down. My head snaps back. I did not retaliate. I should have attacked Jermaine Benman and stomped on his bald head. I go outside. Your employee, Andrew Reale, tells me to wait in the vehicle. He's talking to Benman. He marches Benman around to the side of the vehicle. And Benman says, I want to press charges against you. That's how I'm charged with harassment second. If I'm guilty of harassment second, there's a victim. Who's the victim? If I'm committing this crime, harassment second, who's the person I'm harassing? Is it Jermaine Benman? Tell me. Ask Andrew Reale and then fire his ass. How come you haven't fired Andrew Reale? What would you think if Andrew Reale charged Kevin Baxter or Zachary Baxter with harassment second sitting in the back seat of a Monroe County Sheriff's Office vehicle? I would like to be at your residence if that happened and Kevin Baxter or Zachary Baxter came back to your residence and sat down at the dinner table to talk to you and your wife. And then Kevin Baxter or Zachary Baxter says, Mom, Dad, I'm charged with harassment second. And then they explain to you and your wife, Sheriff Todd Baxter, about the circumstances of being charged with harassment second sitting in the back seat of a Monroe County Sheriff's Office vehicle. What would you think if Kevin Baxter or Zachary Baxter is charged with harassment second sitting in the back seat of a Monroe County Sheriff's Office vehicle? I bet your wife would be in a rage about that. So, Todd and Sandra, I'm concerned about the behavior of your employees at 130 South Plymouth Avenue, 47 South Fitzhugh Street. Sheriff Baxter, this is Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Derek Vineyard. And you can see that he's got a swastika there on his chest. And he's got a bald head there, just like you, Todd. And he's got his arms extended there. He's standing out there in the street. And I'd say that he's got some anger management issues there. Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Derek Vineyard. And here's another picture of him. You can see his swastika here, Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Derek Vineyard. And he's got some tattoos up here on the biceps here. And again, he's got his hands on his bald head like you, Todd. So Todd, needs to speak to Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Derek Vineyard and set him in the right direction, because I believe that he's on a path to violate the civil and constitutional rights of innocent New Yorkers if he continues to have this swastika here and tattooed on his chest. And Madam District Attorney Sandra Doorley, I'm concerned about one of your assistant district attorneys. I think this is the assistant district attorney who stood in nauseating Star Chamber Penfield Town Court and didn't talk. How does a assistant district attorney not talk, watch an innocent defendant be carted off to jail and then say nothing? How does that happen? What's her name? Well, I believe I know her name. I believe I know the name of your assistant district attorney, Sandra Doorley, who stood in Penfield Town Court and didn't talk as my rights were abridged. This is assistant district attorney Catherine Trammell here. Now, you see, this is her relaxing, and I must caution you, Sandra, to tell her not to uncross her legs at the office because she has a problem wearing the proper undergarments, such as panties. She likes to walk around, without those on. So you need to tell, your assistant district attorney, Catherine Trammell, to buy the proper undergarments, and that when she does uncross her legs, she needs to have the proper undergarments on. Okay, sweetheart, you heard that from me, Chris Chichester, 26 Sanders Farm Drive, Penfield. And Sheriff Baxter, I'm concerned about this Monroe County Sheriff Office employee. I just saw him on Penfield Road. He left your Wegmans Food Market's headquarters, and then he got out of his vehicle, and he was on Penfield Road. And he was engaged in a demonstration on Penfield Road. This is Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Arthur Fleck. Now you can see he also goes by the name the Joker. So here's Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Arthur Fleck, and he's going berserk, losing his mind. He fits right in there at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Now, Madam District Attorney Sandra Doorley, this is Assistant District Attorney Mildred Ratchet, and you can see she's got her nurse's outfit on there, and she has an interesting way of dispensing medication if you don't want to take it orally, and she can arrange for it to be taken other ways if you don't want to take your medication orally. And I'm not going to be surprised at all if your assistant district attorneys there at 47 South Fitzhugh Street need to have their medication administered in different ways other than orally. And they can call Nurse Mildred Ratchet to have that happen. Okay, and this is one of her patients. This is Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Randall Patrick McMurphy, and you, Todd, need to tell Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Randall Patrick McMurphy to behave himself when he's playing Monopoly and watching the World Series that isn't on. Okay, Todd? And this is Madam District Attorney. This is Assistant District Attorney Sonny Wartzik. And he's outside a bank in Brooklyn, New York, losing his mind because he was trying to rob that bank and he was unsuccessful. So you need to counsel him and then tell him not to be robbing banks. And Sheriff Baxter, finally, this is Monroe County Sheriff Office employee Colonel Nathan Jessup. And he has the equanimity, the temperament required to function on the job. You can see him right here. He's cool, he's calm, he's collected. And this is exactly the type of person that you want on the job. This is the professionalism that needs to be displayed and is displayed on a daily basis by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. So this is Nathan Jessup. You should make him a Monroe County Sheriff Office employee, Colonel Nathan Jessup. He should be Employee of the Month. Okay, Todd, you heard that from me, Chris Chichester at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield, New York. So, Sandra Doorley, what is the name of the female prosecutor in Penfield Town Court who doesn't talk? Do you believe I have the right to know her name? Why are you failing to send me this documentation? What is her name? Kyle Steinbach, what is her name? Ann Chase, what is her name? I hope, Kyle, what has happened to me never happens to you or anybody you like or love. And I hope, Ann, what has happened to me never happens to you or anyone you like or love. Todd Baxter is a fanatic. And his fanaticism is aided and abetted by your boss, Kyle and Ann. When I walked out here and stood here and said they don't own that land and walked back in my house, Todd Baxter used a civilian named Steve Desmond to get to my residence. That's how they arrived here. A civilian called 6 of his employees to my residence for being outside for 30 seconds. And I didn't hear Miranda. Todd Baxter has descended on me twice. And I didn't hear Miranda either time. How does that happen in the United States of America? Tell me, Kyle, tell me, Ann, and tell me the name of the assistant district attorney who stood in Penfield Town Court and didn't talk. I had to appear before John P. Lomenzo Jr., who is 70 years old and no longer on Penfield Town Court. And he's releasing Daniel DeLaus III in Penfield after he was arrested for trying to gain the favor or entice children on Annatel Luster in Penfield because he's a child rapist. John P. Lomenzo Jr. is on Penfield Town Court as a child rapist protection racket. And that's who I had to appear in front of. And he just rules me guilty. He did not ask me one question about this concoction, about why I was in his courtroom, because he didn't care. He did not know the facts. He did not know the circumstances. He's just there to pronounce me guilty and move on. How does that happen in the United States of America? Does it even matter to you that my civil and constitutional rights are abridged? So Kyle, so Ann, what is the name of your public employee I do not know the salary for as well, that stands there in Penfield Town Court and doesn't talk? You have documentation for my case. What's her name? I didn't even know my sentence. I'm at Monroe County Jail as an innocent man. And I'm asking day after day, how long am I going to be here? I don't know how long I'm going to be here. And I am not told. I couldn't make a phone call. I couldn't call my mom and dad. So, Todd Baxter's employees are incapable of separating decent from indecent. And I'll provide another example. I take my little guy adopted from Odd Pop Farm Humane Society for his walk every day, and I walk along the land next to my house. Now you're descending on me and coming to my house at this point. And you're descending on me because of these people at this building, Consumer Insights. This Elliot Roth that works at this building says to me, you're going to be arrested. And I have no idea what he's talking about because he knows. Todd Baxter's public employees are telling a private citizen, Elliot Roth, that they're going to descend on me. They're not saying they're going to violate my constitutional civil rights, but that's exactly what they're going to do for walking through a parking lot I've walked through 4,000 times. So, Nancy Doorley works at this business alongside Elliot Roth. And I use profanity. Fuck you, Todd, and fuck you, Sandra. And you should visit Brooklyn, New York, and then you'll see people using profanity. Or, you, Nancy Doorley, should enlist in the United States military, and then you're going to see profanity. So I use profanity, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about it. So I'm walking my little guy, and I'm standing there waiting for him to go. And this Nancy Doorley at this Consumer Insights business starts to pull out of the parking lot in her car. And she suddenly stops. She's staring at me. And I'm thinking, why is she standing, idling her car and not driving away? It is bizarre. So a period of about 30 seconds goes by, and she's still staring at me in her car. So I say to you, Nancy, and you know exactly what I said to you. I said to you, what the fuck are you looking at? Fuck you, and fuck you, Nancy. This is called exercising my First Amendment right. And I don't give a fuck about your precious little fucking feelings, Nancy. I take my little guy in. My day goes on. Who do you think's knocking at my door? Sheriff Baxter. I open my door, and there is Deputy Sabino and a female from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. We just want to talk to you, so I let them in. I walk to the center of my living room right over here. And as I turn around, there's this guy, Deputy Savino, right here. Right here. What did you say to the woman in the car? He says to me. He's in my house supervising my speech, my First Amendment right. So I say to him, I said, what the fuck are you looking at? Fuck you. And he says to me, don't swear at me. So he demands to know my speech. And then he's telling me what language to use in my own house. Your employee, Deputy Sabino, Todd Baxter, is telling me how to talk in my own residence. So when I'm using words like fanatic and extremist, this is why. You're coming to my house to tell me how to talk, Todd Baxter? What country do you live in, Sheriff Todd Baxter? And I do not know this Sabino's first name because I don't have the public employee payroll. That's why. What are you doing coming to my house to tell me how to talk, Todd Baxter? As I'm from Long Island, I would see news reports when I was a child, going back to elementary school, people on TV protesting the police, especially police brutality in New York City. And my uncle was a New York City police officer for 27 years. And so I've been around police officers, and I've seen reports of corruption in the New York City Police Department. And the corruption in the New York City Police Department when I was a kid in the 70s was rampant. And I heard about it. So I've been around police officers because of my uncle and also from friends that are police officers on Long Island. Two of them, Suffolk County police officers. So I have relatives and friends that are police officers. And I've never had any hatred for the police. In fact, I have a tremendous amount of sympathy for what the police have to go through, especially the alcoholism problems that police have. Because there are police that are under such tremendous stress that they start to drink and they do other things they wouldn't otherwise do because they're facing this pressure on the job. So I have been around police officers. And then when I worked in the Capitol in Albany, I would see the state troopers every day where I worked, and I would talk to them. So I've never had any hatred for the police. And now I hate the police. I have a consuming hatred for the police because of you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, and this descent on my life. And that will be with me for the rest of my life. You, Sheriff Todd Baxter, require an investigation by the governor of the state of New York through a Moral Act Commission because of what you are doing in Monroe County. And you, Sandra Doorley, require the United States Department of Justice to investigate what you were doing at your Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Your existence in Monroe County is a sickening, disgusting, repulsive reality. Resign.